Hello and welcome to Interface. This is episode 13. My name is Matt Murray and I'm joined with James Farley. James, how's it going?
Pretty good, Matt. It's been a very, very busy week.
It's been massive, isn't it? So much has gone on.
There's an awful lot of stuff. I mean, obviously, the key thing we're going to be discussing today is going to be the PlayStation meeting, because
that's high on my agenda for real.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there was the Apple event as well, but if we've got time, maybe we'll get to that. But
yeah, we'll squeeze that into the last 10 minutes, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so.
Or not.
Okay,
there's so much to talk about.
Let's just go with the Apple stuff.
And it's been a bit of an emotional roller coaster for all of us this week. But yeah, this Apple event is there's so much to talk about. So should we get on with it?
Yep, let's get it.
It started with a shot of a back of a Jeep in an American street, and it was very clear very early on that this was carpool karaoke. Now, did you twig what it was before Tim Cook got into the car?
No, not completely, because I wouldn't say I'm not familiar with carpool karaoke, because I know all about it, but I never really watched it.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes. I mean, it's quite good, and I honestly, I know James Corden maybe isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I'm quite proud of what he's done over there. He seems to be smashing over in America, so yeah. I'll
tell you what's pretty funny about that. I was listening to, do you know Control Alt Delete?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And Mossberg was talking about it, and he was just saying they started off with carpool karaoke with James Corden. Who doesn't love that guy? And he said it completely seriously, and I was just thinking, there's quite a lot of people in the UK not that fond. He's
very very Marmite. Loads of people don't like him, but I really like Gavin Stacey, and yes, I can see why he might get some people the wrong way, but I think he's alright, and I think you've got to be proud of any British, well, anyone really, but any British person who goes over to America and does super well. Anyway, so
Piers Morgan,
start of carpool karaoke, Tim Cook singing in the car. It wasn't as embarrassing as it could have been. I thought it was okay actually.
Yeah, I think it wasn't too bad actually, because when that started off, I was thinking, what are they doing here? But it was okay.
And then basically it meant that James Corden drove him to the conference, and then he came out on stage and started talking all manner of things, of course. He started with talking about the iOS 10 and the launch day, which is September 13th. Went on to talk about macOS Sierra, which is a week later on the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume this is Sierra's free update as ever. I guess at this point they've sort of stopped talking about it, haven't they? Just everyone assumes it's just a free update.
Yeah, it's all of these are free. It's because the Gold Master's already gone out for all of these. It's already kind of available.
Are you gonna have you downloaded them already, or?
Well, I thought about it, because I think you can activate, can't you, without having a developer account now?
Yeah. I mean, with the GM, I know iOS 10's out, and obviously WatchOS 3. I think they're both out, so you can just Google them and download them. Yeah,
but no, I don't know. I'm just still as concerned that things are going to break and it's not going to be that good. I mean, this is the release that's literally going to be coming out, isn't it? The one that'll be out on the 13th.
Yeah, the Gold Master. I think that there's already a beta for 10.0.1. I think I could be wrong about that, but I mean, by the time we listen to this, well, this shows out on Monday the 12th, so it'll be tomorrow by the time for the OS. So I think I can wait a few more days now. I didn't get any of the betas, which is fairly unlike me. I tend to put some of the betas on, but I think I'm going to stop doing that, because it means it's more exciting when the OSs actually do come out, and I haven't been testing it with a semi-broken OS for most of the summer.
It's always pretty exciting when the new version comes out, especially when you get the multiple stories of people saying how it's bricked their phone or this doesn't work, and it's always quite amusing. But I mean, they did. I mean, all they did was the iOS 10 stuff was really short. Actually, they didn't really talk that much about it. They just recapped the changes to iMessage. They've added all those stickers and effects,
which
and
is
stuff.
Weird, because I think that's basically what I said. It would be short, and you said half the show would be dedicated to OS stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't right.
Totally wrong. And then we went on to Apple Music. They showed off the revamped interface. There's a Discovery Mix, which you knew about, but that's obviously Spotify's Discover Weekly. You've written here link integration. What's that?
This is lyric integration, so they have lyrics and stuff.
I mean,
so you can sing along.
Okay. They didn't announce any more free trials, did they? Yeah, no. I know it's probably silly to hope that, but I was sort of hoping that with this new redesign that they would say there's another week's trial for anyone who might have tried it before to get people back on board. Because I don't think I'm going to suddenly start paying for another month just to try it out. But if it was like a week's trial, obviously last time it was a 3-month trial, and it was a bit of a broken mess when I obviously tried it on day one, week one. But if there was, you know, a week's trial going around, I'll definitely try it again. But they haven't done that, which is a bit disappointing.
So, I mean, would this make you want to change, though, to this? Because I'm presuming not, because I know you like Spotify a lot.
I absolutely love Spotify. I've been using that since 2011. It does everything for me that I need. I'd be interested to see what Apple Music's like now compared to what it was like when I first tried it. But I'm not going to pay for a month just to try out if they drop some free trials. And I really thought they would with this, because this feels a bit like Apple Music 2.0. It feels like, you know, they've taken all the feedback on, they've revamped the actual apps and the interface, and that would be a good time to say to everyone, hey, you can have another week free if you want to try out, but they haven't done that, so I'll probably stick with Spotify. I mean, even when I had the 3-month trial, I was still mostly using Spotify. You don't use it, do you? You use iTunes Match?
Yeah, I still use that because I've got all my music in the cloud.
Yeah, you haven't thought about, tempted to move over there?
No, I mean, I did try the free trial, and I quite like that because I like the whole like radio stations thing of like, you know, finding music that is similar to stuff you've already got. But it's still, I don't want to pay for another service, to be honest. I've already got like Netflix, I've got like Amazon Prime like stuff as well. It's just too much. I can't keep having new services. It's just too much money.
So Amazon Prime, are you paying out monthly then?
No, it's like a yearly subscription because I got the
it's like the yearly £79 thing.
Yeah, although mine was a lot cheaper because they do, because when I subscribed to it, I was still like postgraduate student, so it's like £30. You get it for like a year. It's quite good.
I think it's decent value at £79 just because I buy a decent amount of stuff from Amazon. And I love the fact next day delivery and all that. But yeah. Anyway, but the next thing that happened on stage was a genuine megaton. It was a massive, massive moment, I think.
Yeah, this was a bit jaw dropping actually. I totally was not expecting this. I mean, one of my predictions was that there was going to be like game demo stuff, obviously, but I wasn't expecting. You wasn't
expecting Shigeru Miyamoto and Nintendo. Well, yeah, Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, to come on stage where you announce a new Mario game, Super Mario. Is it Super Mario Run?
See, what's funny about this is the kind of thing that we would have said on one of those like two truths and a dare or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's, you know, where it's like, and then people will be like, no way, there's no way that this is like that happened, and then it's like it did.
Yeah. So the game that Shigeru Miyamoto came on stage to announce is called Super Mario Run. I'm not sure when it's out. I think they say it's out this year. You can actually search Super Mario Run on the App Store as it stands, and there's like a notify button, which I haven't seen before, but apparently there have been a couple of apps that have done that. But you can basically hit the notify button, and it will give you a notification, I presume, when the actual app is available to download. But it's an endless runner. There was a bit of confusion about whether it was...
It's just, there's a slight distinction here, because it's actually an auto runner, as in, which seems to indicate that there are levels as such to like complete. It's just that it automatically like runs for you. So which is a bit like, this is how Rayman works as well. Because like Rayman isn't an endless runner. It's just, it has got like, you know, levels to complete.
It's just an auto runner.
Yeah. Yeah, because the price is going to be fixed, but then apparently people were saying, but hang on, there's in-app purchases. Because if you look at the thing...
I think what the deal is, so it says it's fixed price, because I think Miyamoto on stage said, he didn't want... It's just one price basically. I think what the deal is, you can download the app for free. There's like a short trial within the app, but there's one in-app purchase to unlock everything. So I'm not even sure what that's called. It's not freemium. It's not free to play. It's whatever it is. But yeah, anyway, basically Mario, Nintendo on iOS. This is like it was a massive surprise. Obviously, Nintendo have spoken that they're making an Animal Crossing game for iOS and other mobile games, but this was a total surprise, and it was pretty mind blowing when I saw Shigeru Miyamoto come on stage. So that was a massive start to the show.
I mean, did you see the thing about the share price with that as well?
I knew it went up.
Yeah, it spiked like just after this. It was quite funny for Nintendo.
Did it go up more than like all the Pokemon like share spikes?
I don't know, but it did go up a lot. Like there was a massive increase, like massive spike.
So following that, they talked about education and iWork.
Wasn't it like Apple in School or something like that?
Basically, so they pledged basically to give away 50,000 iPads to students and 4,500 Macs to teachers.
Mm-hmm. And this is obviously maybe, I mean, they're probably trying to encourage the take up of Swift, you know, getting people to do that.
Yeah.
But it's also, I mean, in the US, like Apple as I understand, have always been like really strong in education. Like all the people that I worked with when I was overseas that were from the US, they all said they used like Macs in school.
Yeah.
You know, that was like the thing. we've never really got that. We had like RM Nimbuses when I was in school. They sucked.
Well, in terms of Apple and education, I was under the impression in recent years that actually a lot of schools were actually not giving, but were giving back their iPads or were requesting Macs and actual computers instead of iPads. So I wasn't sure how popular the school program was happening, but this part of the presentation was very much more about the fact that they were trying to get kids to code with like Swift playgrounds and whatnot. So to encourage that, they're giving away all these iPads or giving away iPads to certain schools, or I presume schools and whatnot have got to apply for that. But it's great to get kids to code. Absolutely, I think it's a wonderful skill that everyone needs. I think it'd be great. Speaking of coding, Apple have been coding their own apps, and they're changing iWork apps to now support real-time collaboration, aka Google Docs from 2006.
Yeah, this was really strange because this is something I thought that they already had.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, I haven't used these. I mean, I tried using like Pages when I first started my PhD, I think, and I tried to use it, but just found it's just really not powerful enough, at all, to do what I need to do, and so I dumped it. But then, I don't know. I don't know anyone who uses this, to be honest.
No, I'd love to know numbers. Obviously, with the back to school program, where you get a cheap Mac and this and that. I bet. Obviously, there were millions and millions of kids with Macs, in school. But do you reckon they're using Numbers and Pages, or are they just using Google Docs or downloading Office? I mean, I'd love to know the numbers of who actually use the iWork suite of apps. See,
I think it probably depends on institution by institution, because for example, where I am, you can get Office 365 for I think they give it to students for about a tenner or something, for 3 years. It's ridiculously cheap. And also when you go to buy a Mac, it's an option of do you want Office with it as well? It's they don't even they don't pimp their own stuff when you're buying it. And I know that other institutes have deals with Google as well, so they run everything off Google. My one unfortunately runs everything off Microsoft services. But I don't think anyone uses iWork. It's
it might be good for Keynote, which I've used a fair bit of work and stuff. But the rest, no way. I wouldn't bother. But it clearly isn't for me. I'm not quite sure who it is for, but it isn't for me. That's for sure.
Okay, so then they moved on to the first big sort of product thing, which was the Apple Watch. We talked a bit last week, didn't we, about what you were expecting from this, Matt? Did this give you what you wanted from this?
It didn't give me really what I wanted, but it gave me exactly what I expected. Apple Watch, what they're calling Apple Watch Series 2, it is basically, it's the same. It's the same chassis, same sort of. It looks the same, but internally it's faster, and it's waterproof, and it's not very exciting. In all honesty.
Yeah. You see, the thing is to be honest with you, I was quite happy with all of this for the simple reason that now I don't feel any desire or need to buy a new watch.
Yeah, me too. I was quite relieved, actually, the fact it was just I think it is considerably faster, but just a faster watch is something I can live with. I really think the big upgrade here is is Watch OS 3, which everyone will get. So not enough for me to sell my current watch and get a second one. And I'm more than happy to stick with my current Apple Watch and see maybe what Apple Watch 3 does, I guess, or Series 3.
Yeah, I think that's probably where the thing. I mean, this really did feel like the sort of the S series version of the watch, as in they've added a couple of. Well, they've added one thing really, or two things if we're generous, and to sort of make it a bit better. But it's not really. It's not a massive. Step forward.
It's got a better CPU. I think it's a dual core CPU now. So things will be a lot of things will be a lot faster. I think they said it'll be 50% faster. It's got a much brighter display. So brilliant, obviously, for when you're using outside in direct sunlight. It's waterproof. I mean, that's obviously a great feature and all, but the first one, Series 1, which we're calling now, is pretty much waterproof in my mind anyway. I mean, I think officially it isn't, but basically people have been swimming in it and it's fine. You can obviously take showers in it and be in the rain and stuff, but the fact it's officially waterproof for me isn't a massive deal. It's quite cool how it does it. So if you are swimming and you can swim up to 50 meters, or it can be submerged up to 50 meters, once you leave the water, you can press one of the buttons and basically ejects the water out of the speaker grill, which I think is quite cool. Or does it do it out of the speaker grill, or is it out of the digital crown?
No, it's out of the speaker grill.
That's pretty cool.
Which is apparently you press. That was fun. There was no mention, was there, of the digital crown?
No.
Like through that entire event, which was quite funny. It's it ejects it out the speaker grill after you. Apparently, you like press it in or twist it or something, and then it does that. Cool. And then it's like the watch is like vomiting, basically.
Yeah, I quite like to see what it looks like. But also the other big feature is that it's got GPS, which again we discussed on last week. Me personally, I always run with my phone. Anyway, not just for music, but just to, if I fall over and hurt myself, I need to ring someone to get help, or I just want to have my phone on me. So for me, GPS doesn't really add anything, but I can see for some people it's a great feature, but nothing really for me. The most exciting thing Apple Watch for me wasn't really that. It was more the fact that they partnered with Nike for a special running version of the watch, or one that's geared towards running at least, and that's called Apple Watch Nike Plus.
We had a bit of a disagreement over this with the wristband. Yeah,
so it basically it's a new watch. It's got a new strap, and we'll discuss that in a second. It's got exclusive watch faces. It means you're basically part of this Nike running club, but that app, I believe, will be allowed. It's available for obviously all phones and all Apple Watches. So the app isn't itself exclusive. It's more just the style of this watch, obviously, which is exclusive to this watch and the watch faces. But you don't like the straps, Farley?
I think it looks horrendous. It's like
how do you describe the straps?
It looks like a runner's thing. Like, I get that. I know it looks like a sort of thing that a runner would use, but to me it just looks horrendous. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to wear that. But
so how do you describe the straps that you don't like so much?
Well, they're black, aren't they? Like the colour is kind of black with massive holes in it that are all sort of like luminescent, and it just. Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember the iPhone 5C? And they had those the
cases with the holes in
cases. Yeah, it looks like that. It's got the same sort of vibe as that going on.
Yeah, but it's much better now, because unlike that, like when you put your iPhone in that thing with the holes in, you could see like part of the word iPhone. It looked totally messy and disgusting, but at least this is just,
I know.
It's a strap with holes in, and the edge of the inside of the holes have like, fluorescent yellow colours. I didn't mind it, actually. I think they're quite nice. I mean, I'm a runner, but that I wouldn't say, I need that strap because I'm a runner. I'm really happy with the sports strap. But yeah, it looks nice. If I could buy the strap separately, I may well do that. I don't use Nike running, a Nike Plus running app. I use Strava, so that doesn't really do anything for me. But it's cool they're doing something unique for runners, and for people who do use Nike Plus, I think it'd be a really awesome thing to get. But for the more expensive part of the range, they're also now doing a ceramic version, so a white ceramic finish. I presume, is this like a new edition, Apple Watch edition?
No, see, that's the other thing about this, is I know they haven't like officially ditched all of that, but it really feels like it now. It really feels like they're sort of rolling back on all this, like, it's for fashion, it's for this and that, because, I mean, what was the top range one?
So the top one was called the Edition, which was the gold.
Yeah, I think that's gone, hasn't it now? Because I don't think it's on the Apple website anymore.
I'm not sure. I looked over there and I couldn't find it. It may well be there, but it's certainly not as well advertised. One of the most interesting things about the whole thing is the fact that they've finally fixed a naming convention, which is a total joke before. So before, with Apple Watch Sport, then you had Apple Watch. Then you had Apple Watch Edition, which was the thousands of pounds or really expensive gold versions.
Yeah.
Now it feels like they're just Apple Watch Aluminium, which is it was the Sport, and Apple Watch Stainless Steel, which is the Apple Watch as it was formerly known.
Yeah.
And that makes much more sense. I mean, I'm going to miss calling it Sport, but it is what it is. But yeah, last time, the fact when my friends said, "Which one have you got?" I said, "I've got the Apple Watch version of the Apple Watch." It's just terrible.
I think it was because before they were really like sort of throwing everything in, weren't they, to see which markets I think it would sort of find traction with. And it's pretty obvious that it's found traction mostly with like people that want it for fitness and nerds probably like us.
Well, yeah, I think that definitely shows in what they've done with WatchOS 3. It's just fitness or it's notifications, and that's why they made notifications a bit different, or the way you access apps and stuff on the watch a bit different through WatchOS 3. I mean, yeah, I think that it's very clear that right now it's just really about them two things. So Apple Watch Sport is dead. It's just Apple Watch Aluminium or Apple Watch Steel, I guess. Yeah. The watch is lighter. The battery is 36% larger. They didn't actually. Did they give like actual battery life times or?
No, because the thing is that with the GPS on the Series 2, apparently it needs to have this like larger battery anyway, and it doesn't seem to give any benefit.
Right, so it's just evened out, isn't it?
But I would imagine if you don't use the GPS a lot, you probably would get better battery from it. Yeah. It's but also it's slightly thicker as well. Apparently, the new one compared with the one that we've got.
Yeah, I think it's a millimetre thicker. Unbelievable. Yeah. That was the thing. I did not expect it to go thicker. I thought thinner, if anything, or same size, are not thicker, but it is what it is. WatchOS 3 comes out on the same day as iOS 10, which is the 12th? 13th, yeah, so the 13th is out. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, just seeing how much that improves my lonely Series 1 Apple Watch. But regarding the original Series 1, so they're keeping it around, aren't they? But they're upgrading it as well?
Yeah, they've upgraded it with a dual-core CPU. So it's actually... This is what's really funny, because it's pretty much identical to the Series 2 watch, just without GPS. And that's it, because it's also... Is it waterproof as well? I don't know.
I don't think they've changed that, but then to be fair, the first one was pretty waterproof anyway, so...
I mean, you're looking at this as being like, unless you're really, really into like running or something, why would you buy the Series 2? Like, because what's the point?
So I was just looking at the prices of the Series 1. So Series 1 you can still get, and it's from £269.
Which is crazy. Especially considering it's in the US, it's gone down in price, but here it appears to have gone up.
Yeah, we'll definitely go on to pricing a bit later, I think, with the iPhone. But the only difference is the fact it's got GPS. So I don't know why. I don't know. It's so weird. I mean, and the fact that the price over here has not gone down. Has it actually gone up, or has it just remained the same?
It's definitely not. I don't know, because you see, when I bought mine, I'm sure it was around this price. Like, it was around this price, or maybe even a little cheaper. I can't remember.
I mean, basically, I think it might have gone out slightly. According to the Apple Store app here, Series 1 is now, for 38mm, it's $269, and for 42, it's $299. I think that might have been $299 for the 38 before. So I think it might have gone down £30.
I don't know.
But yeah, but basically, Series 1 is $269.
It's still way too much.
Series 2 is $369. That is absolutely crazy.
It's still far too much, especially, I mean, at this stage, it really feels like they need to get this to as many people as possible, especially like just the, Series 1 watch. And it's a bit like, what was it I was listening to? I was listening to, I think it was Accidental Tech, when they were talking about this. And then they were talking about, the how it's a bit like the iPod, how it starts off at like this price, but then they just gradually like kept on releasing other ones that, the price gets reduced and reduced and reduced. And that's probably what's going to happen with this watch as well, where eventually it's going to be like 150 quid.
The Series 1 aluminium, it should be super cheap. But I mean, obviously, before Apple Watch, there was, Fitbit was massive. And a lot of people thought, oh God, Fitbit would it'll probably die or no one will bother when Apple Watch comes up. Actually, I'm seeing everyone with Fitbits, like a million more Fitbits than I've seen Apple Watches. I basically barely see anyone with Apple Watches. And I work in a digital marketing agency, and I don't see that many. I mean, there's basically loads of nerds, loads of tech people, but I know of about 4 or 5 people in the office who have one, and there's 170 of us in the office.
Mm-hmm. But isn't that... I really think that is down to price. Because, like, the Fitbit is significantly cheaper,
it's like £100
Exactly. But then the thing is once Apple do start to, like, cut the prices of these, if they do like they did with the iPod, like, for example, then why would you buy a Fitbit over an Apple Watch when it's got, like, more functions and stuff?
The Series 1 has barely gone down at all, if it has at all, over here in Britain. Mm-hmm. I think it has had a bit more of a sizable chunk off it in America. But yeah, they need to reduce this so much if they're going to start even eating Fitbit's lunch. But right now, I can see Fitbit going on do better and better.
See, I really think it needs to be like sub £200 for like people to be like, really wanting to like pick them up.
But how long will it take to do that? Like, do you think they'll keep Series 1 around next year and they'll be even cheaper, or what?
Maybe. I mean, but the thing is like in the US, it is significantly cheaper. Like they've cut the price there. It's just here where it hasn't been, and it's sort of gone up.
Shocking! It's unbelievable. We'll definitely talk about prices in the next section. So Apple Watch. So it's not. It hasn't tempted you to get a second one.
Absolutely not. Don't care at all. It's I feel really happy with what I've got at the moment. And like you said, with WatchOS 3 coming, if that does give the speed gains, then why do I need this new watch?
I'll tell you what. If I do get another one, I think I'll just get I think I'll get an aluminium. I don't think I'll get a steel again. I think they look nicer, and I think the watch I've got now goes with better, more and better straps than the one you've got. But I think ultimately it just probably wasn't worth the extra money just to get the steel. And I'll probably, if I do get another one in a year or two, whatever, I'll probably just go aluminium.
Do you still wear your one like daily, like all the time?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, every single day, yeah.
Yeah, me too. It's it's usually the first thing I put on, in the morning.
Yeah, definitely. I'm obsessed with getting that whole standing up 12 times in a day thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the last thing I take off at night and first thing I put on in the morning. So I still like it, and notifications are great. And yeah, I'm obviously running like almost every day at the moment. So for fitness, it's absolutely brilliant.
Well, soon, apart from standing up, you're going to be. It will tell you to breathe as well. So. That'd be good.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to that mindfulness. That mindfulness stuff. But yeah, WatchOS 3, I'm really excited for that. But I do not need Apple Watch Series 2, and thankfully Apple did not announce anything that makes me want to sell everything I own to get one. So thank you, Apple. Okay,
so then we moved on. It moved on quite swiftly to the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus.
Yeah, so well, they announced new iPhones. I mean, the weird thing about this is that it was even before they announced the iPhone, it was all ruined and leaked on Twitter by Apple's own Twitter account. Now, what Apple's doing, they're basically paying to basically tweet without actually showing the tweets on their account. So essentially, they're paying. It's essentially it's advertising sponsored tweets, so they don't show up on the account, but they are tweeting information, which is a very, very weird thing for anyone to do. So you go to Apple, you go to twitter.com/Apple, it says 0 tweets, but everyone's received loads of tweets, and basically whoever had set up the sponsored tweets, whatever they were, to go out at certain times, said it too early, or they they made them go too early, because even before the iPhone announcements had even begun, people knew they were called iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. They knew they were waterproof. They knew what colours they were. They knew when pre-orders started. It's a massive, massive screw up by Apple or by Twitter, whoever it was. But someone has probably lost their job over that.
It was it was pretty funny. Because
it was funny, but I was on Twitter, obviously, tweeting about it while the conference was on. I had to leave Twitter for a bit because all the surprises are getting ruined here by Apple's own account. It was crazy.
See, there hasn't been any mention though, has there, about what happened with that and who was responsible?
No, of course not. Yeah. It's just swept under the rug. People have had to clear their desks and leave, but no, they obviously wouldn't. They wouldn't admit it. But my God, I bet Tim Cook or other people were absolutely furious at that.
I'm certain,
because people like The Verge and Mac Room and stuff had already written their sort of pieces about the new iPhone before Tim Cook or Phil Schiller or whoever had even announced the phone. It was crazy. But yeah, speaking on the phone, let's just. I don't think the notes we've got here. I don't think they're in the right order, but we'll do it anyway. So there is no 16 gig version. The rumors are true. It's 32, 128, and 256.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I mean, everyone was really excited about this in the beginning because it's on the surface it looks like a really good thing, because that 16 gig was ridiculous. I mean, in this day and age, especially with the size of pictures you're getting with the camera, it's
and like 4K video and stuff. So now it starts at 32. I mean, it's obviously a good thing, isn't it? It's great. It starts at 32 gig.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that now this is where I'm going to start to get a little bit angry. Now, basically, this is where it affects like costs and prices, especially over here in the UK, where what they've done is they've got rid of 64 gig and they replaced it with the 128 gig. Over on stage, they said, we've doubled the storage and the price is the same. It's amazing, but not over here in Britain, where they basically increased the price by £100 for what was the 64 gig version is now the 128 one. So, if I want another 64 gig phone, I can't. So I can't get 64 gig. 32 is too small, so I have to get 128. If I want to get 128, it's an extra £100 more than it was last year, which is it's just unbelievable. We've been absolutely screwed over so badly. Now you can say this is like Brexit tax, this is like weak pound, it's Apple maybe trying to increase the ASP, the average selling price of each device, but oh my god, it's made me absolutely livid. And I rang yesterday, didn't I, James? Yeah. I was fuming.
So this is the thing, because I didn't know that they'd done this, like with the price increase like this, because when they announced it on stage, it sounded great. They were like saying, yeah, we've doubled this, and you're not paying any extra or anything, and it's like, yeah, we are. They're paying a lot extra, and it's like a ridiculous amount as well.
Yeah, this is exactly what I said last week. I said they're going to try and screw us over here by doubling, and they've done exactly what I thought they would do. And I was genuinely a bit depressed and super pissed off at this whole thing. I'm like, so to get the same phone, I have to get a 128, which sounds great. I get double the storage, but actually no, I have to pay £100 more. It's such a piss take. And it's not just this. It's like the Apple Pencils have gone up by 20 or 30 quid. The docks have gone up by £10 each. The cases, the iPad Pro's gone up by £50. Oh, everything's gone up. I mean, what is this just because of the weak pound and the Brexit stuff, or what?
I don't know. I mean, this is what annoyed me about it, because, like, in China when they've done this, like when there's been like the currency's like devalued like slightly, which it did not so long ago, it doesn't make any difference at all. They don't like increase the prices or anything like that over there, and it's because if they did, there'd be like outrage. But like here, I don't know. It just what surprised me is just how much it's been increased by. It's not an insignificant amount. I mean, I saw someone on one of the forums was saying like, oh, if you're already going to buy like a £700 phone, then you can afford another 100 to to get the one you want. And it's like, no, I don't think it works like that. I mean, what do you think, Matt?
Well, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I think what they're doing is they've raised it by a certain amount, but basically they've raised it quite a lot, I think, to almost protect themselves in case the pound goes even weaker against the dollar. And Brexit, if we start actually starting to actually probably leave Europe, it's only going to get worse for us. So I think what they've done is they've made a prediction about what's our worst case scenario in like 11 months or 10 or 11 months time, because they wouldn't want to say only raise it by £50 and suddenly 6 months down the line it's worse, and then they're losing. I mean, they won't be losing money on each iPhone, but they won't be making quite as much as they've predicted. So I think they've probably done £100 on the chance that it gets worse.
See, that's quite scary, because that means like this massive like multinational corporation basically thinks that we're screwed. It's like,
I have no inside knowledge of any of their figures, obviously, but I really truly think that they've probably just said, if this Brexit thing probably kicks off and the pound goes even weaker or interest rates low or whatever, what do we have to do to protect ourselves? And I said, let's just bang another £100 in it. I was so fuming yesterday. I mean, I'm still angry now. It's still, I'm definitely calmed down. I mean, yesterday when I rang you, I was absolutely livid and like upset and depressed and pissed off. And maybe if we'd recorded this yesterday, I might have been even more emotional. But I'm sort of glad I've calmed down a bit. But
it is ridiculous, though. I mean,
yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's mental, but it is what it is. I understand their business. Obviously, they've got to make money. Obviously, in the quarter three earnings report, in July, revenue is down, iPhone sales are down. The ASP has gone down. It was like $700 like 2 years ago, and it was like $591 this year. And this had predicted it was going to be 616. So. The average selling price has gone down considerably, and now they're going to just bang £100 on each iPhone over here. Yeah, it's just so annoying, because over in America, they're like, it's the same price and we doubled the storage. Isn't that amazing? And that's what you hear on stage, and that's what the headlines will be. But oh no, over here, because of Brexit, Brexit tax. We've got an extra £100 on each iPhone. It's absolutely mental.
It's not even that. It's like when they the thing we went back to with the watch when they were like, yeah, we're keeping the Series 1 around and we're dropping the price to I think it's like $200. And it's like, then you look, I got excited because I was like, oh, maybe I'll save up some money and buy one for my wife. And then I looked on the Apple site and I was like, hang on, it's gone up. It seems even more expensive than before.
Cases are an extra tenner. The dock's an extra tenner. There's probably loads of other stuff that I haven't realised has gone up. I mean, we'll maybe come on to laptops a bit later. But yeah, I just angry. In fact, we might as well talk about now. Basically, this increase in the iPhone worries me for what the laptops are going to do. Because if they've added £100 on the iPhone, which I worked out, I think it's about a 12% increase, they're going to have to add the money onto laptops. I mean, it's not like we're just doing the phone, because they're also doing the iPad, they're also doing the accessories, the docks, etc. So there's no chance in hell they're not going to increase money on the laptops as well. And 12% on a laptop, say a £1,700 laptop, that's like an extra £204.
Which is ridiculous. I mean, it's...
So, I mean, I can really, truly see that they'll announce some laptops, amazing. Oh, it's got this OLED bar, it's got Touch ID, by the way. Oh, look at the price. It might be fine in America, but in Britain, it would be like £200 more. I would not be surprised.
See, the thing about this is I really think that, long term, this is not going to help, Apple in the UK. Because especially for things like iPads and stuff, if they're going to, at the moment, iPads are, I wouldn't say reasonable, but they're not too bad, actually. You can get them for, a reasonable amount of money. But if they start, whacking, 50, 70 quid on, each one, then it's just, starts to leave a bad taste in the mouth, because it's just...
You and I both, I would describe as hardened Apple fans. I would basically buy the phone every year. If I had the money, I'd buy everything they do. But this has truly made me stop and think, what the hell am I doing? It's such a piss take. I know the business, yada yada yada. I know they've got to make money. I'm not that stupid, but oh my god! And I've saved up money to get one of the laptops. Now I'm thinking, there's no chance I'm gonna have to basically save up extra £200 or £300 just to get the same laptop. It's really making me consider whether I should buy one at all, frankly.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm really looking forward to this rumoured October announcement of these laptops, just to see exactly how much they're going to screw us over. But everyone levels these complaints at Apple all the time, or just paying just overpriced laptops, overpriced this, overpriced that, and now I guess I knew that anyway. I knew they're expensive, but seeing this, I'm like, they've just banged £100 on top of the phone wasn't cheap anyway. It's like my 64 gig Space Gray 6S Plus was £719 last year. Now it's £819.
It's exactly the same as this one. Because I bought the 6 Plus, the first one, and I think I paid about the same. If it had been £819, there's no way I'd have bought this phone.
No way.
Because that's just really annoying. It's it's not so good.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, I guess it's just a weak pound and. Who knows? But also, right, and if the pound suddenly gets strong, I can't see next year. Oh, it's back to £720.
No,
there's no way they're going to lower the price now.
See, the thing is you see, when I first started getting Apple stuff, I was actually living in China at the time, and stuff over there was marginally cheaper than it was in the UK. But the price difference between the UK and China wasn't so big that it made you think, okay, I'm never going to buy stuff from the UK. I'm just going to buy it over here. But now, you're really just thinking, why would I buy a phone or whatever in the UK if I can get it from somewhere else? Because it's just the gap is just too big. It's massive.
Yeah, I mean, UK stuff has always been expensive wherever you go. If you look at electronics, a lot of people have basically essentially they've had an American price, and for us in the UK, they basically just changed the dollar sign to a pound sign, and that's literally what Apple are doing now. The AirPods, and we'll come on to them a bit later, they're $159 over there, $159. Over here, they're £159. So, fucking hell, it's 1-to-1. But the currency rate is not 1-to-1 yet, but maybe it's going that way, and Apple are just hedging their bets. But
and we know that obviously, because the price they quote in the US is without sales tax and everything, obviously. Yeah. But even adding the sales tax, it's not that much. The difference is not that much. And even if you add import, export, that kind of thing. it still feels like we're being gouged like really badly.
Yeah,
it's
worse than ever, and it's just so clear. I mean, I wasn't blind to it. I knew, we'd pay a bit more over here, but it just, I was so excited about the new phone and the laptops, and now I just think it's taking a piss. But it is what it is. Yeah, and if you think I'm angry now, you should have heard me yesterday. What do you think when I rang you yesterday, James?
Well, fortunately, the line was quite distorted, so I couldn't. It was a bit difficult to make you out, but yeah, I could tell that there was a lot of anger there that was going on.
Yeah, I was genuinely a bit down and depressed yesterday, which isn't normally me after an Apple conference. I'm usually full of joys of spring, but Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's probably the end of the moaning for me. But we'll carry on. This phone does not have a headphone jack, James.
It doesn't. And because of courage.
Because of courage. The reason Apple gave for removing a headphone jack is courage. What's their actual line? Basically, they showed a picture of like a 1900s switchboard, didn't they?
Yeah.
And joked about the headphone jack. And said the reason we're moving it is courage. You need to be courageous and strong and brave to make these decisions, and we're doing it. And up yours, basically.
Yeah, which was basically it, because then they didn't really give any reason why they've done it. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the reason they've done it is because of next year's phone. Like, whatever they're planning for that is going to be the thing. But for this year's, they gave no reason at all, really, why they've done this. I mean, I know that probably technically the reason is because of the new home button, and it's like the haptic feedback and everything, and maybe it didn't work so well with the with the headphone jack. But apart from that, there was no reason given at all, and the courage thing I don't know, it was embarrassing, actually.
Yeah,
and
I will say, right, the courage thing, I understand that, and appreciate it's probably the wrong word, but I understand that, to make tough decisions and innovate and change, you do have to have courage. I understand that you have to be brave, a brave company to say, we're going to do what we think is right and to push the industry forward, blah, 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 we're going to do it. So I totally understand that. But this is not something people want to hear. We don't want to hear that the company's being brave. We want to hear the company doing great things for customers, and this is not good for customers, for consumers. It's user hostile, and it is what it is. I mean, I think it will push the industry forward, and I think Bluetooth products will be better. I think every Android device and all the other phones will probably do this within next year and a half. I mean, we've already seen, I think it's an LG phone which has already removed the headphone port even before the iPhone.
Yeah.
I can see why they're doing it, to make things thinner, and particularly in this case, it's all about the 2017 iPhone, and, I can see why they need to do it. But it's not good, and the way they've done it, it's not great either. But the courage thing is another slap in the face.
It certainly was. I mean, they offered.
Courage.
They've offered. So they've changed it so that there's Lightning earpods that they're doing, which, as I said, that still really bothers me, because what are those earpods going to be like? Like, how frayed are they going to get? With the Lightning. We'll see. I mean, maybe they've improved it somehow, but
they have changed it. I mean, obviously, currently the regular AirPods they sell, I mean, mine have been destroyed within weeks, and I'm really careful with the stuff. But that they have changed the bottom bit near the adapter. It's much more thicker now, so maybe I like to think it's much more. It's made of much more stronger stuff than the previous headphones were.
And then also they put the dongle as well in the box, for so you can use existing 3.5 inch.
I think that's good. I mean, the dongle is £9 or whatever it is to buy separately, but one comes in a box. So yeah, on day one you can buy your 7 or 7 Plus. You can put a dongle, put the adapter in, and use your regular headphones, and that's that. I mean, you can't charge and play at the same time unless, I think Phil should have responded to someone's email and said, if you want to do it, you can buy a dock. Actually, since there is another, like a £40 adapter where you basically plug this massive adapter into the bottom of your iPhone, and that's got two lightning sort of ports, so one to go to the phone charger and one for the headphones. It looks ridiculous, but that's the way.
Accessory makers are going to have a field day with this. Can you imagine how many there's going to be? It's
I don't know. I reckon within a fortnight there we're saying super cheap and slim and easy to use on Amazon, but that's beside the point. I will say, since getting the 6S Plus, I can't remember many. Probably like less than 5 occasions over the last year where I've actually had to charge and listen to music at the same time. Because the battery is so good, I haven't really had that. Whereas with the 5 and 5S and 6, I was doing that loads, but since going Plus, for me at least, haven't really had that issue. But it's obviously an issue. It's going to be a hot issue for millions and millions of people.
Yeah, see, that's never really bothered me that much either, because I mean, especially now with, like you said, like with the Bluetooth ones, I don't really care about this. I mean, actually, this whole headphone thing, I don't really care that much about it, but it just feels a bit rubbish that they didn't really give a good reason. There was no really good reason given for it. I mean, but then also, I mean, have they ever given reasons before? I mean, if you think about, like, when they removed the floppy drive, like from the Macs, like they didn't really. I mean, I guess they kind of said, this is like obsolete, out of date technology, but they didn't offer any alternatives apart from like USB keys.
No.
So
I mean, my Bluetooth headphones, I pretty much use exclusively for running, for keeping fit and for washing up, and maybe if I'm and gardening basically. Mm-hmm. I don't take them to work. I mean, obviously I'll take them to work if I'm running to work, but I don't take them, use them at my desk, mostly because I'm pretty much constantly taking headphones from my Mac to my iPhone and vice versa. And if I had Bluetooth headphones, I have to pair and unpair and all sorts of stuff probably. So I haven't really bothered with that, but maybe I'll use my Bluetooth headphones a bit more. But
you see, I have the same thing. I just keep a pair of headphones just to use with my Mac, because I can't. You can do the pairing and everything, but it is a bit of a hassle. To not have to keep going back and forth, but also it's the battery life thing. I mean, my Beats get like 6-7 hours out of them, but during a day that's still not really enough. So yeah, I still like to have wired ones.
Do we think do we think there'll be a lightning port on the new MacBooks and the new iMacs and stuff?
I don't know. I hadn't thought of that.
I think there has to be, right?
It would make sense, wouldn't it? Because
also you can charge, you can charge your Apple Mouse, you can charge Apple Pencil, you can charge like, you can obviously put headphones in. I think there's a really good chance there will be a lightning port on the new laptops.
I think they kind of, I think you're right. They kind of would have to be, actually, especially because of the headphone issue.
Yeah, I think. Okay, I mean, we're going off base here, but do you think there'll be a headphone port on the new MacBook Pros?
Oh, definitely. There's no way they'll remove that, because there's too many like audiophile people and all that kind of thing that need that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not that they really need to save space at Big Star. This is probably a good time to talk about AirPods as well, isn't it? Yeah,
we could go into this. I mean, this angered me, actually.
Yeah, so AirPods are Apple's alternative to using the Lightning headphones, and they've announced their own wireless Bluetooth headphones called AirPods. Basically, exactly as all the leaks and rumours suggested, AirPods is what they're called. They basically look exactly like AirPods, except they've got the cables cut off to the point where it just looks weird. It's got that little stalk bit, which just looks weird. I'd rather they were just the bit that goes in the ear and not with that white stick that goes down the side of it. But
I think they had to do that because it still picks up like as a microphone kind of thing. And
I guess so, yeah. So these are going to be £160 over here because, we're getting screwed. They are wireless, obviously. They use Bluetooth and like another technology, don't they? They keep talking about this W1 chip, so I'm going to assume that's a different type of wireless technology as well as Bluetooth.
I don't know. I think I read that it was like a sort of proprietary version of Bluetooth. Like I've taken it and sort of modified it slightly.
But it does still use Bluetooth, don't they? Because you can connect it to other devices.
I don't think you can. I think you can only connect it to like Apple stuff. Like you can connect it to. Really? I think you'll be able to connect it to like Mac and to like iPad and stuff like that, but probably not like other things.
Okay, but that means it does just have straight Bluetooth to connect to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They have only a 5-hour charge, which when I first had it, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like 5-hour charge is not enough to get these into mainstream adoption at the rate Apple wants. 5 hours is the same as my £15 ones from Amazon, for Christ's sake. But and we'll come on to that. Come back to that in a second. But also, they come with this charging case, which you just they live in the case. You take them out of the case. The case has 24 or 25 hours. I've heard conflicting reports, but 24, 25 hours of charge in this case. You just plug them in. You just slot them into the case, and they're charging. you only have to put them in the case for like 20 minutes, and they have another 3 hours of charge, which is pretty cool. 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. To pair them with Apple devices, you literally just open the case and hold them in an iPhone, and they basically auto pair. So they're fixing one of the biggest issues with Bluetooth headphones, which is pairing and unpairing. It seems like they're super easy to pair. And the amazing thing I've also read is that once you pair them with your iPhone, they are also automatically paired with your iMac, your iPads, other Apple devices, because it's all done through iCloud. Which I think is absolutely brilliant. The fact they've solved one of the biggest bugbears of Bluetooth, which is slow pairing, or pairing that's awkward and annoying and unreliable and whatnot. But they've done that. But yeah, so what do you want to say about these AirPods then?
Well, you see, okay, I was hoping that Apple were going to do something like this, like that there was going to be like some sort of new like headphones, but these, I don't know, I feel really disappointed by these, to be honest. I mean,
why?
Well, I feel disappointed, first of all, for the amount of charge you get out of this. Like, the 5 hours is, I still think, ridiculous. And even though it comes with that case or whatever, it's still 5 hours. Like, the Beats that I've got, they last for quite a lot longer than that. And, like from a single charge, which is not too bad. But...
So, speaking about the 5 hours, 5 hours is, I mean, they said industry standard. I think mine go further than that, but it is what it is, and you say yours do too. But and this quick charging case thing it's an awesome idea. Just 15 minutes is no time. Just make a cup of tea at work, or go for a wee, or do whatever you want to do. Suddenly they're charged for another 3 hours. That is brilliant. But that means that I have to carry that case with me everywhere I go.
Exactly, and it's another thing to charge. See, like with my Beats, I can get like enough like each day out of them. I just need to charge them, and in the morning or whatever, and then they're ready for like the whole day. I don't have to. I never think about like whether they've got charge or not. It's always fine.
So every night you just put them on charge with your watch and your phone.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. Also, I mean, how many things are we charging now? I mean, it is kind of getting ridiculous, the amount of stuff we have to charge.
I'm totally cool charging my phone and watch every day. And my Bluetooth headphones, I have them on charge quite a lot, just on the off chance that they were to die, but they've never died on me. Although I will say, I think I've talked about this already on the pod, but my Bluetooth headphones have like an audio announcement when battery's going low. But basically they say battery low, and within 30 seconds they're dead. Like, it would be great to have a little bit more warning, please. But anyway, it is what it is. I think that case thing sounds awesome. The technology sounds brilliant. The fact you just literally slot them in, they're charging, take them out, 24 hours of charge in this little case. That's brilliant. But I will have to have the case on me at all times.
But there's that. But then there's no tether between them, which
I know that is the worst way about them by far. I
mean, I know they've done that because they probably think that having the cable looks ugly or whatever, which it kind of does. But it's also really useful because I often, you just have them like round your neck or whatever, before you like put them in, and you won't be able to do that with these. And these so look like you're just gonna. Everyone said this, and it's totally true. These are gonna get lost. Like,
oh my
really,
god, yeah.
And it's like, I'd be really pissed if I lost just like one. I mean, it's like 160 quid. That's what, like, how much is that? That'd be like, how much is that per ear?
Well, it's 80 quid.
It's like 80 quid per ear. You've like lost one of them.
Basically, these look exactly the same shape as AirPods. And AirPods, I mean, they're not great for my ears. They sort of hurt and ache after a while, but they also don't stay in all that well.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine me going for a run within 5 minutes getting like sweaty, and like the one for popping out. I can imagine I'm running down the road on the pavement. One falls out. I instantly maybe like turn to my right or my left to like grab it, or maybe it goes in the road. It's gone down a drain. Maybe it's like gone into the road into the path of a car, but I'm instantly going to get it. I can literally see people having accidents and getting killed because an AirPods like come out into the road and they just instantly go and grab it. These things are going to come out, easy when you're sweating, when you're running, let alone not in normal everyday life.
See, it also just feels, okay, the AirPods already were not amazing headphones. They were kind of okay.
I much prefer their in-ear versions.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, they weren't that great, and it really feels like a piss take that they're 160 quid. It just feels ridiculous that they're, for what they're offering here. I mean, I know it's got this like new technology and stuff, but I seriously think next year or whenever they revamp these, there's going to be like ones with a tether. because I can't see how you can have these just like two pieces that they're like the size of like almost like cufflinks, and they're just going to get lost. Like they really will.
I will say that I think they look really cool. The fact they haven't got tether, that mine have got tether, and it's handy because when one pulls out, they don't go into the road, and I don't get killed by a car. But I know they look a lot better for not having tether. But yeah, it's utterly ridiculous. Obviously, I just need to correct myself. When I said I prefer Apple's in-ear ones, these are both in-ear, both these earpods, AirPods. But the ones I was talking about was the other ones they released. I'm not sure if I still do them, but these are like 60 or 70 quid, where they're in-ear, but they go much more in the ear, and they've got like a rubber thing. I'm not sure how you describe it. Basically, not to my earpods. They did other different.
I remember those. I had a pair of those once.
Yeah, I had them, and I really liked them.
Yeah, I couldn't get on with them, and I sent them back because they were just they kept on.
Yeah, these things do have even more really cool technology. If you take one of the AirPods out of your ears, it stops the music, which is really cool. You put it back in your ear, and the music plays again. I think that's that's amazing, and that just shows these are the sort of things you can do when you build up the headphones and the software and the hardware. You can get all this stuff working together really well, and do things like this, and the super quick, easy pairing. This is stuff you can't do with like standard Bluetooth headphones. So there's lots of cool stuff in these £160 headphones, but you're going to lose them. Also, right, Apple did not mention once the audio quality, and that is so un-Apple for them to do. Every opportunity they're like, it sounds amazing, it sounds amazing, everything, the speakers on the iPad Pro sound amazing, the iPhone speakers sound amazing. They didn't mention sound qualities at once, which leads me to believe these are exactly the same as the earpods, albeit wireless.
Which is why they don't sound great. For 160 quid, that's ridiculous. And also, I mean, if they were really going to push this idea of like removing the headphone jack, and, really wanting to push people towards like Bluetooth and wireless, you can't do that with a £160 product. It's not going to work. It needs to be much cheaper than that. That's
not a mainstream price to push this forward.
It's kind of insane. But yeah, so I wasn't that happy with these. I mean, I can appreciate that they look... I don't even think they look that good, to be honest. I mean, I just feel they do look weird. They look weird.
Also, they're going to get nicked so easily, aren't they? Someone can run past you, quickly bang, out, gone.
Bang what out?
Someone could easily rip these out of your ear.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I really was not impressed by these, and it's just the pricing. I just think is insane. For like what they are, it's crazy.
But that is comparable to other Bluetooth headphones and wireless headphones. I mean, like the Beats are like 160, 170. The Jaybird 2s or Jaybird 3s, they're 170. So 160 is comparable.
Yeah, I know, but is the
I don't quite get that argument.
But is the quality as good as those, though? I mean, if these are the same quality as earpods, then that doesn't work. It's because these other ones, the quality is genuinely better. It's,
Yeah, I mean, you would say the quality of your power... Have you got... Are they Power Beats 2? Is that what they're called?
Oh, I've forgotten the name. It's... I think they
are. Whatever.
Yeah, they're Power Beats, but I don't know which ones.
So you would say the sound quality is decent.
It's really good. Yeah, I'm really impressed.
Yeah, 160 quid for basically earpods with wireless. It's it is what it is. Anyway, they announced those actually aren't going on sale till October, which is another fuck up by Apple. Like, I thought Tim Cook was meant to be Mr. Logistics. And we'll come on to the camera in a minute, but there's like other stuff which isn't ready for launch. It's like what are you doing? Anyway, whatever. The iPhone itself, it comes with 5 colours. Obviously, there's rose gold, there's silver, there's regular gold, there's silver. Also, 2 new blacks, as reported before. There's jet black, which is the glossy one. That is 128 and 256 gig versions only. You can't get a jet black in the 32 gig model, but you can get black in all the other models. There was some small print on the Apple site actually that mentioned the jet black version, and that it basically said, that after a while, after some time, the shine will go away, and there may be lots of micro abrasions, I believe they call them. AKA, this jet black phone is going to get scratched really easily, really, really badly, and they actually recommend a case. Now, if Apple are already putting small print on their pages and saying there's going to be some scratches, micro abrasions, and get a case, this thing is going to be an absolute state in about 2 weeks' time.
So there was that, and then there's also I was reading the people that have actually seen it and like touched it in real life. They say it on the desk it looks stunning, but then after a few minutes of people touching it, it's covered in fingerprints, and it's
covered in fingerprints. But even like the demo desks or demo tables that they had there, like MKBHD, you know, the tech YouTuber, he said, "Oh, this has already got scratches on," and also the Apple Peel were like milling around near the phones and basically wiping them with like cloths before and after Peel started to use them to obviously remove the fingerprints. I think Jet Black looks amazing, and I think it will look amazing for like the first day or first hour, but after that it'll look a total mess. And I think even if I had a case in it, I'd be worried or freaking out that it will be getting scratched. So I think black seems like a much safer, much better option out of the two. But I will say both the colours look really nice. I'm really glad they've gone proper black this time as opposed to space grey, which is... It wasn't black at all. It was just weird grey. But I think both black and jet black look amazing. Jet black, it would freak me out too much. So I would go black, really.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, I thought the black, because isn't the black a kind of a matte black anyway?
Yeah.
Which is better. All right, and then also they've again, it's as we found out from the tweets, you know, it's waterproof as well.
It's waterproof. It's also dust-proof, which is cool. I mean, obviously there were countless, tales of people dropping their phones down toilets or in, glasses of water or in the sink. It's good that I can have my phone in the shower or near washing up without worrying about it going in. And yeah, I think that's great, frankly.
And that seems to be why that there's no physical home button. Because that's gone. Yeah.
It feels like that definitely links. So yeah, the home button, as we know, it has changed after since 2007. Obviously Touch ID came in, but it was still a physical home button. That's now gone, and they're basically doing what they did to the Force Touch trackpads. That it's basically it simulates the feeling of a click, but it's not actually clicking. And from all the reports I've read, people basically say that the entire bottom part of the phone vibrates and it doesn't really feel as nice as the Force Touch trackpads did.
See, I've got a Force Touch trackpad, and seriously, like you really don't notice that it is one. It's quite cool actually. Like you don't notice that it's like that, and it's really weird because then when you switch your Mac off, it's like suddenly like completely static. Like you touch it and nothing happens at all, and you're like, hang on, why can't I click this? Yeah. It's quite impressive, but but it doesn't sound like this is working quite as well.
Yeah, I've heard good about reports. To be fair, so it'd be interesting to try in real life and see for myself. But again, I think it's just another change that they're doing in preparation for the 2017 iPhone. This is, the rumour there is they're going to remove the home button entirely, and maybe just the bottom bit where the home button is now, that would all be a giant Force Touch sensor and that will act as a home button. So I think it's just a midway step, really.
I mean, I think this is quite a good thing because, as we talked about last week, there is always that thing about, does the home button, does it work properly? They sometimes they start to fail after a time. Yeah. So this is not such a bad idea. I haven't
had any home button issues since my 5 or the 5S. Yeah. Since then, I've pretty much been fine.
Saying that, I think probably mine's been fine. I think they may have fixed that, but it's quite cool.
Good. It's also going to support Japan's NFC like Felicia or Felica standard. So. If you're in Japan, you can now use it with NFC, which is pretty cool. We'll come back to prices in a minute, but do you want to talk about prices now, or should we do it at the end?
Let's go to the end.
Cool. So they also announced the 7 Plus, which is again exactly as the leak said. It's pretty much the same, except it's got a dual camera system. One of the cameras is wide angle lens and also zoomed in a bit, and exactly just like the leaks, and the rumors suggested, you can basically do like an artificial optical zoom basically without affecting the quality of the image. It's basically 2 separate 12 megapixel cameras at the back of the phone. Both the 7 and 7 Plus also have brand new 7 megapixel front facing cameras as well for selfies and whatnot. But yeah, basically, it's going to mean you can do artificial optical zoom. It's not going to affect the quality. I think they called it a telephoto lens, didn't they?
They called it that, but then I've heard since that that's really misleading, and it's not really. It's like more of a sort of mid-range lens. It's not really
but you can
telephoto.
Go up to 10x, up to 10, zooming 10 times, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the demos they showed, I think they look really, really impressive. I think the cameras look amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this whole section of the conference the stuff they showed. It was impressive. It was quite interesting, and I really would think, if I had the cash, maybe, and I wanted a new phone, definitely I'd get this one. But it went on for a long time. This bit, this whole thing with the camera, and I know maybe it's because I just don't really care that much, and it's not really a big deal to me. But what do you think?
No, I think it's a huge. It looks really good. I think they had to go on for a long time because this is pretty much the only truly big change to 7 and 7 Plus, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what gets set. This is what gets set. Both of them apart. This is the first really substantial change between the smaller model and the larger model. So I think they had to do this. But yeah, I think the camera stuff looks class. I mean, the most impressive thing I thought was the new bokeh stuff. That's basically when you take a picture of, well, in this case, people. I think it's pretty much geared towards portrait images, and it basically blurs the background. But this is all done through machine learning, through code, through software. So you take a picture of a subject, and the iPhone would just basically blur the background based on what it knows or what it thinks the picture's of.
Mm-hmm.
But that is coming as a software update, and it's not ready for launch.
Yeah, how far away is that? Did they say?
I think they might have said November, but I'm not 100% sure. But all I know is that it's not available yet. They're clearly still working on it, and it's something that's going to come later. Which, I mean, that is mental. The fact, when was the last time they did that they didn't quite have a feature ready for launch? They have to launch it later with a software update.
I don't know. I kind of feel they have done that before, but I can't remember when.
But we've got this. We've got AirPods not coming out to October. It's just for someone who's known for his logistics skills, Tim Cook. I mean, what's happening here? It's just it's a bit mad, really.
Mm-hmm.
What else are the cameras? Yeah, so Plus has got a 4 LED array for better light accuracy, better color accuracy. As I said, both the front cameras for both the phones are now 7 megapixels as well. So camera-wise, these phones look brilliant. The Plus is the one definitely to get. Not quite DSLR quality, but it looks really, really fantastic for a phone camera. Yeah.
I mean, as I said, if I was in the market for a new camera-stroke phone, this is definitely the one I get. But it's definitely, I don't know. It just went on for a long time, and I think it's because they do the same kind of thing every time that it gets a bit tedious. The whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot more they can show. They'll show pictures of attractive people zoomed in. I mean, I don't know. I love using my camera on my phone, of course, but once you've seen one camera demo, you've sort of seen them all, I guess. But moving on, so the phones now have dual speakers, which is pretty awesome. Obviously, the one at the bottom, as before, but also one at the top, and the one at the top is actually the earpiece. So where you'd obviously have the phone to your ear to listen to phone calls, that has now doubled up as a second speaker.
Yeah, which is also pretty impressive, actually.
It's got to be, but it's only like a little slit, isn't it? So are they both going to be as loud as each other, both the speakers, or is it going to be? It can't be lopsided audio, but
I doubt it. But apparently, it is apparently significantly louder, like what it's outputting.
Yeah, I think they've said the speaker's actually twice as loud, which is brilliant. And I watch loads of YouTube stuff on my phone, maybe if I'm in the kitchen washing up, and it's not quite loud enough. So to have stereo speakers and to have those speakers twice as loud, I think that's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Going into the chip stuff, the CPU is an A10 Fusion chip. It's 2.4 gigahertz, 2.45 on the 7 Plus. The Plus has an extra gig of RAM, so the Plus actually has 3 gig of RAM versus 2 gig in the 7. It's CPU, 6 core GPU, it's 120% faster than the original iPhone, which is a cool little stat. So it's super fast. Battery life has increased, which is obviously amazing. 2 extra hours, you say, for the 7 Plus.
Apparently it's 2 extra hours for the 7 Plus.
2 extra hours. The 7 Plus the Plus battery for my 6S at least is brilliant anyway. So 2 extra hours is fantastic. 1 extra hour for the 7 in terms of battery life. Pre-order started today being Friday, Friday the 9th of September, and it comes out on the 16th.
But there's already long delays, isn't there? It's
I mean, basically within a minute or two, Jet Black had already been pushed back to 2 or 3 weeks. The Plus is nowhere to be seen. Some people have got pluses on launch day. Some people have actually got Jet Black pluses for launch day, but those are absolutely few and far between. I went to pre-order O2. They don't have any stock of the pluses for 6 weeks.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I mean, so it's going to be 6 weeks and you still won't be going to like an O2 store in Britain and get a plus. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're also not taking pre-orders for the Plus. So you could pre-order the 7, but I didn't want 7, I wanted a Plus, and nothing for 6 weeks.
Has it been as bad as this before? Because I don't remember it being quite this bad. Apart from like in the original, like, you know, when the iPhone 4 and everything was coming out, it was like this.
Yeah, I mean, so when I went to order my 6S last year, it was a bit of a disaster with O2 again. So they said stores are taking pre-orders from 8 o'clock on a Saturday or Friday, whenever it was. I went down to my local O2 store and they're like, oh, we haven't got any in stock here. So I had to ring around loads of other local ones, and one of them did have them in stock to pre-order, and I drove to that and I managed to grab the last one. But basically loads of them did not have pluses to pre-order. This year, apparently they got like an email message. They did take some pre-orders like first thing, but then within like 5 minutes they're like, okay, no more, we can't do it. So yeah, basically you cannot pre-order a Plus in O2 at all, and they probably won't get stock for 6 weeks. You can order it online, but it was going to be 6 weeks, and I didn't really want to do that. So I have not pre-ordered a phone, and I'm thinking actually I might not get 7. I think if I don't get it day one, which it looks like it's not going to happen now, I'm probably going to hold off. I guess I'll see what happens. Maybe stock might come in and I might break, but as it stands currently, I might take a year off, which is unlike me, and it's going to feel weird on launch day not having one. But 6 weeks, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, I could have obviously bought for Apple, but I want to get mine through O2. But yeah, insane.
I just really think that because this phone, apart from the removal of the headphone jack and the waterproofing, and obviously it's faster, and I know like all the tech specs are kind of better, but like visually it doesn't look that different, does it really?
It's still using ultimately the same design, just with different colours, and they've slightly moved the antenna lines, but it's the same thing, same thickness, same everything. It's got new cameras, but basically it's the same design for the third year in a row.
See, and I think that will make your pain slightly less. If you see what I mean. It's not like you're going to see people, like, if you see people in the street or whatever using it, you won't be able to tell, unless it's like the Jet Black one. It'd be really difficult to tell if this is like the 7 or if it's a 6.
I mean, I guess also, I'm gutted on not getting one, and if I had gone on to Apple Store and got one straight away, I'll be happy with my order and getting it next week, and, whatever. Next week I'll probably be a little bit pissed off I didn't get one, but I think also the fact, 6 weeks is a joke. I'm not, waiting 6 weeks is just too long. I'm either going to get day one or not, or what it feels like not at all. But also, I love my 6S Plus so much that it doesn't feel like a heartache to not get a new one. If I had just a 6, or if I had, if I didn't have a Plus, I might feel a little bit different. I might feel a little bit different. But as it stands, my 6S Plus is a brilliant device, and I'm happy to have that for another year, frankly.
Yeah, you see, I've just got the 6 Plus, and I still don't feel any desire to change it. It still feels nippy enough, like for what I want to do with it. The camera still feels fine. I really don't feel any need to upgrade this yet. It's I mean, maybe next year when there's like a new design or whatever, and there's maybe some more significant improvements, I'll change my mind. But at the moment, this feels fine.
Yeah, it just feels like a good year to skip. I mean, I'm saying that now because I can't get one. If I got one, I'll be absolutely loving it, of course. But I'm happy with my current phone, to keep another year. But I guess we'll see. But in terms of prices, I mean, so the 7 starts at 32 gig, as we said. That's $599. 128 is 128 gig. That is a $699, and the 256 model is $799. The Plus is when it gets ridiculous. The 32 gig model was £719, which is what I paid last year for 64 gig. The 64 gig middle tier equivalent is now the 128 model, and that's £819, £100 more than last year. And the 256 gig 7 Plus is £919.
That's a lot of.
that's
a lot of money for a phone. I mean, can you imagine? I'd feel a little bit uncomfortable walking around with that in my pocket. Like just thinking I've got like £1,000 in my pocket, basically. It's
£119. It's absolutely mental. It's just crazy. But that's. I guess we've got to get used to this new just Brexit attacks where everything's going to get expensive, and I don't know.
It really is. Yeah, we're living in the darkest timeline.
But it is just Apple. I mean, I haven't seen other companies. Like Sony announced a new PlayStation that hasn't gone up by £100.
But yeah, what the worry about this though is, where Apple go, other companies tend to follow. Is this just going to become like everybody's going to start doing this?
We've got new things out next year. New consoles, new this, new that. Are they suddenly going to be like much, much more expensive over here? I mean, you're right. If Apple are doing it, and then people are like, hang on, why is it £100 more? What shouldn't we be doing that? And then, yeah, it's worrying. And it's just annoying. It's just these last few days have been like a total emotional rollercoaster. I know that's like a total first world problem and all that. Will I pre-order? Will I not? Oh, it's really expensive. I'm not going to bother. I'll go to pre-order today. I was going to be 6 weeks. It's like, oh Jesus Christ! I'm going to stick with my 6S Plus and be done with it.
Just forget it.
Just forget it. It's pathetic. Yeah.
Overall, though, what did you think of the conference in general? Like, apart from being screwed over the prices and everything, what did you think of it overall? Was it good, bad? How did you feel?
I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty uneventful. I mean, the Apple Watch, we thought, in honesty, everything leaked. We knew exactly what was going to happen as ever. Apple Watch 2 or Series 2, I think if you haven't got an Apple Watch and you're interested, it sounds like a great time to get one. It did nothing for me to make me want to get a second Apple Watch. So that, it doesn't really interest me at all. The phone, I wanted to get one just because I get one every year. That's just what happens in September every year. But it wasn't an incredible update. I mean, it felt much more like an S update than a proper, proper numbered update. And it's clear that everything's really all about next year's iPhone. I think that's the one to get excited for me. Anyway.
But this is what's interesting though, like for next year, because if next year is going to be a significant like change, like a redesign, like what it looks like and everything, is it going to be another S? Or is it going to be another numbered phone? Like another
this is my, and we'll get onto our predictions now, but this is my prediction for next year, is that next year they'll just call it iPhone. Mm-hmm. And it's a 10th anniversary. It's going to be a big design change. I think next year is when they'll drop the numbers and just go iPhone. But should we go into our predictions?
Yeah, so how did we do?
We didn't do terribly good, did we?
Not really, no. It was safe ones we got pretty easily.
So my safe one was they'll package, or in the box they'll have some Lightning AirPods, and yes, they did that surprisingly.
Mm-hmm. And I had we won't see any Macs at the event, and we definitely didn't see any of those.
We did not see any Macs.
Although Tim Cook today apparently said that they were still very committed to the Mac. It's
Oh right, he said that, has he? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look forward to their £4,000 laptops in October.
Yeah. Okay, then we got the more risky ones that we had. So the first one I had was that Chair Entertainment would be on stage, and there was going to be like a new Infinity Blade or whatever to show off the new CPU. They didn't do that.
There were one of a few companies that didn't go on stage to show a game demo.
I know, there were quite a lot of game demos, including that one. There always seems to be one that looks like Cameo for the Xbox 360. Do you know, there always seems to be something like that, and they're always like, wow, look at all those things on screen. And then I'm like transported back to the launch of the Xbox 360, where they said exactly the same thing.
Yeah, so it's a game that, I mean, we didn't mention it, but we obviously mentioned there's a new Mario game, there's a Mario demo. We didn't mention the fact that Niantic came on stage to show Pokemon Go.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that's going on Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not playing that anymore, but for people who are playing it, I imagine it'll be also on Apple Watch. The fact that it'll just vibrate and tell you there's like a gym nearby and whatnot. I think that's a great use of the Apple Watch. Mm-hmm. And then there's the other game demo, which I'm not even sure what the developer was, but it looked alright, this game.
And then, okay, so what was your other risky
mine was that they would call the Plus the Pro model, which they didn't.
Apple's naming schemes are all over the place at the moment, though. It's horrible. It's not really.
I should have guessed that would be the name of the new PlayStation.
Yeah,
which was called the PlayStation 4 Pro, but whatever. Yeah, so I didn't get that. I really thought they'll do that, but maybe that's next year, or maybe they won't do that at all. But anyway, I thought I was going to get that one, but no, sorry. So what was your risky one?
My second risky one was there'll be just one more thing, and it'll be TV related coming soon. Yeah, that really didn't happen. There was nothing at all.
Your other prediction was that they would focus loads on software.
That wasn't a proper. That wasn't one of the official predictions.
That was just another weak prediction that wasn't officially a prediction. And my riskier one was that they would show some VR stuff. I had a second one, didn't I? It was VR stuff and.
Yeah.
maybe whatever the other one was, it did not happen. So didn't do too well predictions this year, but it was. But apart from that, everything that was leaked, happened pretty much. The only real surprise, I guess, was it wasn't. I mean, AirPods, we knew what they were called, but I guess obviously how they work, nobody knew that. So that was good to see something that people didn't 100% know how that was going to go down. But apart from that, it was a pretty predictable conference.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, because of all the leaks, and they continued leaking even with the Twitter.
They were leaking during the conference. For goodness sake.
I mean, it is getting beyond a joke now, isn't it? Because, I mean, one of the things that's kind of sad about this is it does take away the mystery, because we really do know everything before we go in, and it's like, I mean, one of the main reasons we were excited about it this year was to see how they were going to spin removing the headphone jack, and we just found, well, it's just courage.
We should have predicted courage.
Yeah.
It was so obvious.
Yeah.
So so is there anything else you want to mention about this Apple thing?
No, I mean, I thought it was okay. I mean, the stuff, it was quite funny because, I mean, the stuff at the beginning, especially with like the Mario things, it was really, it started off on quite a high, I thought. It was kind of good. And I did like the fact that it was quite focused on just two things. It's just really just like watch and the phone. I really didn't want it to be like another 3-hour thing where they just go through every product category they've got. But where does this leave iPad updates and also and Macs as well? I mean, is there going to be another event, or are they just going to stealth release stuff?
I mean, they did sort of stealth update the iPads. I mean, they reduced the price over in America. They probably increased it over here, but I'm sure they updated the iPads as well.
Mm-hmm. Really?
But that was just a stealth release. I mean, the current big rumour is that the iPad update refresh cycle for OS and hardware will actually be March. They're going to potentially move those things to March. So, so any big sort of iPad related features, they won't come as part of this. iOS 10, iOS 11, they'll basically come in March time. So around halfway through the year. So or halfway through the cycle at least. So no iPads, Macs. The big rumour is still that there'll be an October event, and hopefully October we'll see how expensive these new laptops are going to be.
Mm-hmm. It's your £4,000 laptop.
Yeah, I'm not going to get one. I'm just going to update my Mini. I mean, these are going to be off the chart expensive, and it's disappointing, but it is what it is.
I'll tell you what, it's going to kill the education laptop market. That will, if they're ridiculously expensive, even with discount. If it's because. Yeah, there's so many people in university use Macs, and that's going to really drop, I think, if it turns out that they increase the price massively. People will. I mean, I have started to see Chromebooks there, and I think there's going to be more of those kicking around because they're so cheap.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if they increase the iPhone price by £100, they will absolutely increase the laptop price. Mm-hmm. There's no reason why they wouldn't. I mean, I read on Mac Rumors. I asked some people what they thought about this, and they said, "Oh, it might not definitely be for the Mac because the Macs have got quite they sell quite low, so maybe they won't want to affect that too much." But if they've done it if they did just do an iPhone, I thought, okay, maybe it'd just be iPhone. But the fact they've also increased the price on the cases and the pencils and the docks, I mean, nothing's remained unscathed. Everything has been increased, so
everything's been increased by at least a tenner. So it's it's going to be more.
The laptops it's going to happen. It'll be like a £200 increase, and then it's just going to be mental, really.
So there we go.
But we've got a question of the week from last week, but we're going to keep that running till next week, aren't we, James?
Yeah. So the question of the week we had from last week, which we're going to run over, was what piece of dead software/hardware would you bring back? So, if you'd like to email us at Matt, you want to give us the details?
Yeah, so the email address is interfacepodcast@gmail.com. You can also tweet us at interfacepod. The podcast is available on iTunes. It's available on Pocket Cast and Overcast. Leave us a review on iTunes. That'd be awesome. We're also on YouTube. New episodes go up when they go up on iTunes, so you can listen to it on YouTube if you want to search for Interface Podcast. And for full show notes on this show, go to interfacepodcast.squarespace.com/13 and you'll get anything we might have mentioned in today's show on there. Thanks very much, James.
Thank you, Matt.
Cool, and we will see everyone next week.
Bye-bye.